Extremely intelligent, extremely personable, and with an encyclopedic memory. I'm delighted to invite this gentleman to formally open the Manchester Irish Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Terry Christian.
I'm nearly welling up. Oh, is that right? I'm nearly welling up after that one. I've got to say, I'm an Old Trafford lad. I've always thought, I've got my parish priest down there. Hiya, Father. He's buried my mother and my father when he buried my mother. That was the last time I was in church. But I'm a Catholic, not a fanatic. I've got to say, because both my parents were from Dublin. I've got a bit of stick tonight, I don't know where Dubliners. Is there anyone in here from Dublin? Yeah. Only a few. Anyone here from Mayo? Yeah. Give me 6. Sorry. Just a bit of revenge. I mean, I've got to say, actually growing up first generation Irish in my day, because I'm just beyond middle age now, although I look great, don't I? It was kind of, you know, because I had like 5 brothers and sisters, my parents were both Dubs. But kind of, you know, Ireland's history and culture didn't even reach us in the sort of misty, swirly Gaelic way that something like Riverdance does. All we had was like if Darby O'Gill and the Little People, you know, that Walt Disney movie was on at the Imperial in Brooks Bar, or the Fighting Prince of Donegal, another Walt Disney one. And that was it, that was our Irish culture. So we got sophisticated and saw The Quiet Man. Have you seen that one? You know, with its winning portrayal of drunkenness, wife beating, fist fights, and of course the happy-go-lucky IRA men in it. Quite heartwarming. I mean, other than that, my dad used to throw in the odd mention of Brian Boru and the Battle of Vinegar Hill. The thing is, for historians, I actually think my dad thought that Brian Boru was fighting at the Battle of Vinegar Hill. About 800 years difference there. Another thing that my dad used to do was, you know, I suppose his Irishness manifested itself most in the fact that he would always support any team playing against England, just to line us up. And then the other thing that he used to do to manifest his Irishness was any horse with an Irish name, he'd back. Now I've got to say, 1983, Grand National, 80 to 1, he bet on your man. That was the name of the horse, your man. And he made a few quid. Although I can assure you that on the whole it was a very poor system. That's why we were on free school dinners. Well, there you go. I mean, again, he was like my old fella and my mum, you know, they were quite modest people, they were great people. What they kind of did was they gave us a sense and an identity of our own. And when you grew up in an area like Old Trafford, everybody's mums and dads were born elsewhere. So we grew up alongside, you know, kids whose parents were born in Jamaica, you know, born in India. And in a way it sort of drew us together. We almost introduced our parents to other cultures. And what was telling for me was our football team, St Alphonsus, used to always win the Stretford East League every year. So when they were selecting Stretford boys under 12s, 5 of our team were selected for trials. Those of us who might have been a bit rubbish, like playing at right back, we went along to see why did they pick us. And what was very interesting was the guy who was selecting the team, and I'll say it now because it was a long time ago, was racist. So the best goalkeeper in the league was this black kid who used to play for Old Trafford School on Stretford Road. Another great player was a lad called Barrington who lived on Reynolds Road in Old Trafford. Again, his parents were Jamaican. And these guys weren't being selected. They picked our goalie. And we knew he was rubbish because he never had anything to do every week because we always won 3 or 4-0. And what was interesting about that selection procedure was it was all those kids from St Alphonsus. And we were being, you know, it was our lads who were being selected there who stood there and actually said to the guy picking the Stretford boys team, that's not fair. He's rubbish, he's our goalie, you should pick him. And basically accused, at the age of 11, the coach of Stretford boys of being racist. Now that to me is a kind of credit to the parents that grew us up, Also, to the parish priest that we have, like Father McMahon and Father Joe Carter, even though he's a City fan, I'll throw that one in. But also to a sense of what I think being Irish is, because I think being Irish is the fabric of everything that's great about Manchester. Now, we've seen a lot of old Irish stuff here, but the thing about Manchester is it's modern, it's maverick. If you look at the people who make things happen here, who give it the vibe, you know, football clubs and football hooligans, they've always had this reputation of attracting the National Front, the British Movement, BNP, not Manchester United and not Manchester City. And I think a lot of that is because the Irish have got this sense of fair play. And if it means that you've got to speak out and put yourself on the spot, then you will do. Also, there's a kind of fearlessness about us. That's how we grew up to be. I mean, I am naturally a shy person. No, I am though. No, really, but I work in a medium where people were much more privileged than my background. But what I wasn't brought up to be was a forelock tugger and a cheerleader. And we all know that nowadays, you know, with the credit crunch, everything else, and the way of the modern world, it's like they're not after original thinkers, they're after cheerleaders. Well, here's someone who thinks that all original thought is going to come from this city, because again, the Irish community here have always thought about the right things. If you look at all the bands, now we've seen a lot of the traditional music today, the Smiths, all Irish descent, a certain band called Oasis, who I gave their first TV slot ever, all Irish descent, half of the Buzzcocks, Tony Wilson, Rob Gretton, the guys who founded the Hacienda, Factory Records, Tosh Ryan, who did Rabid Records, you know, who were the kind of inspiration behind Factory Records. Some of the great writers from Manchester, Billy Hopkins, Catherine Hopkins, they sell worldwide. And they come out of Manchester, with an attitude and a few original thoughts. So I kind of would like to sort of pay tribute to all of those people, our parents most of all, because it's coming up to St. Patrick's Day. Every year, our connection with Dublin was my auntie might send us a load of old shamrock over, which is always yellow. A bit less appetising as every Christmas, we'd be waiting for a big present, we'd get an Avena and Masses. Not quite as exciting. But as I said, I've always been proud to be of Irish stock. I've never been a plastic paddy. I've not been the best Catholic in my day. But what's made me proud of being Irish is the way that I've seen people act, the way I've seen people interact. And I actually think we are the fabric of Manchester. We give it its vibe, we give it its openness, we give it its warmth, and the way that anybody is a stranger in Manchester, they don't feel like a stranger for very long, because they're always kind of welcomed into its cosmopolitan embrace, really. I love this city, I love the people of Manchester, and I think that whole Irish thing is all part of it. You know, we've got a sense of humour, we give each other a hard time, we like a good argument. Well, that's a fantastic thing to have in common for a start, isn't it? So listen, I'm honoured and absolutely privileged. You know, my mum and dad were here, you know, God bless them, they're not, but they'd be really proud as well. Even though my mum always supported England to annoy me dad. But that's the Irish for you. God bless you. Thanks a lot.
The whole situation, as well as that guy down there did, every word that he said meant something to me, because he was speaking the exact same way that I would have said it. Well done, Terry. Thank you, Eric.
Okay, well actually, I just said this to Terry Christian, not bad for an Old Trafford lad, kid. Great Old Trafford. I'm delighted actually, because there's a young man amongst us, David Costello, who spent a lot of his time, you may have seen from the screen earlier on, a lot of his time rebuilding a Massey Ferguson tractor. I don't know who's made here in Manchester, but and he drove it at last year's parade. So he's going to get the prize for the best young participants. David, are you with us? And Jim, his dad?